The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 26th day of June, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sancha Durham, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sister Sancha, how was your weekend?
Good morning. I had a very good weekend. Lots of sun, lots of fun. I'm happy the rain has gone away.
Oh, yeah, like nonstop for a month almost. Like Bermuda's got this rainy season. All of a sudden, now you all enjoying the sunshine, right?
It's beautiful out. So beautiful.
Bermuda,
Here.
but I wonder, now that Bermuda's had a cleansing, does this mean that we're now renewed, re-energized, or we'll see. We'll see.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. I had an interesting weekend. It was all about funerals, life and death. Went to one on Saturday, which was one of the best services I've been to. It was, short, to the point, and just a celebratory service. I love to celebrate people. If you all haven't realized this, I love to celebrate people, especially while they're living. But it was a great service. Yesterday, I did tune into former BIU leader and PLPMP Otto L. Simmons funeral, much longer than the one on Saturday, much longer, but a great service indeed for a person who the work that they did truly benefits most, if not everyone, in Bermuda. So two great services. That was my weekend right there, just celebrating life. Good morning to you, Tanya Cheeseman, and happy Monday to you. And good morning, Karen Simmons. Good morning, brother Kenton Trott. All right, so greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today. We're going to discuss, there was some confusion. I don't want to say controversy, but maybe some confusion regarding Kamari Dill, Bermuda Special Olympian at the Special Olympics. So we're going to, today discuss how we can best celebrate and honor our Special Olympians. The Daily Play is a Who Said It. Yeah, Who Said It today. So folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Real quickly, question: yes or no? Are you planning on attending the TDH restaurant crawl? Just yes or no, because I'll let you know the date. But just let us know, yes or no. Are you planning on attending? Sancha, are you going to be there?
And you were not in our special meeting held last week with regards to this, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, okay. Karen Simmons is coming. Yeah, they don't. I was told I couldn't attend that meeting, folks. So I guess they're keeping me out and allowing other people to just take control so that I don't come across like the micromanager or something. So they kicked me out. But it should be a good time. And actually, Karen and Michelle, who both said yes so far, they were both hanging out with us last year at Huckleberry, remember? So they know we're a good time. Laverne Tucker says yes. So yes, the date is going to be July. Sancha, you remember? I know if I look at the calendar. Hold on.
Jamal, I have so many dates in my head right now.
I'll share the date with you real quickly before we get into today's conversation. The date for the restaurant calendar. See, folks, when you're live, you just can't. Okay, so the date is going to be.
Sherry got it for you.
No, it's not Saturday the 29th. It's Sunday the 30th. It's not Saturday the 29th, Sherry. So you would have been giving me the wrong information. It is going to be Saturday, July 30th. So that's going to be the restaurant crawl. So look out in your emails, especially. No, it is going to be first come, first serve basis. Those who are TDH members, that means if you've joined our YouTube channel or if you've been on our website and registered, you will get first access to it. But yeah, that's what we're looking at, the 30th of July. So we hope to have you all there. Now, if you want to do the 29th with Sherry, that's a totally different thing, folks. That's a different thing. So you may not get
Sherry and I do our own thing on the 30th.
Oh, okay. So
the 29th.
Oh, right. Well, now Sherry switched to the 30th. All right. So let's jump into today. Folks, I know some of you want to talk about what happened with I know what we've been following a lot of things, and if you remember, your premier David Burt has given us different timelines and dates for the Fairmont Southampton Hotel. Well, we'll talk about all of that subsequent episodes. Today, I really think it's only right for us to speak about our Special Olympians. Again, confusion, and for those who don't know, so the story with Kamari Dill, and I'm just going to read from the Gazette. Kamari Dill was denied a gold medal at Special Olympics for being too fast. That's what the headline reads. So basically, he won all his heats and the final, setting a personal best time, but Special Olympics rules deemed his improvement was too great for his category, with organizers refusing to recognize his achievements or to recategorize him. He was instead just handed a participation medal. So at the Special Olympics, contests are separated into divisions based on previous times, with a maximum improvement rate of only 20% allowed in each event. So the organizers say the purpose of this is to promote honesty of effort at all stages of qualifying. So I know a lot of Bermudians were upset with this. I know a lot of people were not happy with the rules need to be changed. He's not the only athlete this has happened to. This may come down to coach and oversight, many things. I get the frustration. I really do. But maybe I'm speaking for myself. I kind of respect and understand, the rule as is. I respect and understand it. But that said, I think there's another way to look at this, because, look, medal or not, he won, he did us proud, and I think it's up to us to make him feel like a winner. But the other part of this is, what can we do? And we asked this question on our Instagram stories, is what can we do? How should we honor and celebrate our Special Olympic athletes? Like, what are your thoughts? How can we celebrate and honor them? What are your thoughts on that?
I want to ask firstly, how do you understand it? What makes it okay for, how do you understand what happened?
What, with Kamari Dill?
Yeah.
Well, the rules are set to protect categories. So it's not like it almost be based on what my understanding, it would be like putting Usain Bolt and Johan Blake in their heyday in the same race as the women of that caliber in theirs, and the women not even finishing.
How do you avoid that though? Because I sat reading and trying to understand. I'm like, I get it, but how do you avoid it? And one of the statements was, do we tell them to slow down or,
No, you don't get to that point. So it's based on times. Based on my understanding, it's based on time. So if let's say we have a TDH team and I'm reporting it's Special Olympics, I'm reporting that Maya's time's 10 seconds, right? Now, I don't know because we haven't trained or practiced, but I say her time's 10 seconds. And then Maya goes out there against other people who raced that 10 seconds as well. It's to make it competitive. And she finishes in 8 seconds. Now, in a short race, 2 seconds is a lot, right? That's a lot of space. So I think what they're saying is that you have to report the times. So you're getting people who have similar times, they're close, so that it's a contest and they're not so far apart. So meaning Kamari probably should have been in a different category which is
The
what I understood.
celebrities woke up and had a great breakfast that day and did well.
I agree with that, Sancha. I mean, at the end of the day, some mornings I could run under 10 minutes a mile. Some mornings it's over 10 minutes. So I get it.
Right, right. I mean, I get it to a certain degree, but it is very discouraging. I'm sure, especially for Kamari, who has worked so hard.
Mhm.
He gets there, and then all the hard work he's done, and I think that we have, or the trainers have to be mindful of this going in to, I guess, try to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Well, I mean, he shares agreement with you. He had breakfast with champion Sancha. I don't disagree with you, Sancha. I've been trying this devil's advocate thing a lot on this show, trying to look at the other space, trying to, get a boxing match with you or Sherry, but it's not going too well. But I'm trying my best to understand it in fairness, but this is why I think it's up to us to celebrate and honor these Special Olympians. So for us, we know he's a winner. He knows he finished first. He knows that. So now what can we do to celebrate and honor our Special Olympic athletes? Like, I think that's where we're at. This is take it out the control of them now. What can we do? Because one thing I realized, I remember being around Kamari after he won, after he had a medal last night. He had a medal, he would wear it places. And talking to him, I think it was Bermuda Day 1 year. It was I saw him sometime. I can't remember what year because we had a pandemic in between or something. But I'm saying that is the excitement. He was just happy, right? And you're happy for them when they were going to the radio stations and doing their interviews. My way of thinking of it, and I know, I'll share some of the responses on Instagram, but I was thinking a bit different on how to celebrate and honor them. And I'm curious as to how other people would celebrate and honor our Special Olympic athletes.
I can't wait to hear what you have to say, how we should celebrate them.
Oh, really, Stancia? Why don't you go first?
Jamal, I mean, I think that we should give them all of the energy that we give all of our other athletes. Of course, welcome them at the airport, maybe a parade, to kind of show that they've been successful. What else do I think we should do? Definitely a media sort of situation. What do you think, Jamal?
Well, let's go through Instagram and then I'll come. So how should we honor and celebrate our Special Olympic athletes? So first response is the same thing we did for Flora and other athletes by giving them funds. Interesting.
Do we know that they're not being funded at the moment?
I don't know that. So
yeah,
I have no idea. But I think when they say funds, I think Philadelphia got 10,000, 25,000, like as an individual, I believe. So that could be what they're speaking about. I don't know. How should we celebrate and honor our special Olympic athletes? Someone else said have a special celebration at City Hall during lunchtime period, 12 to 2 p.m. Music, dancing, Ashley's. I think that's Ashley's Lemonades. And someone else said what you just said as well, Sancho, a parade. Someone said a parade.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's my thought. Sean DeShields says a mini parade. Sherry Vanderpool says a motorcade. And she says, I think we should celebrate the athletes of Special Olympic parade as we have done with others. Marcia Robin Patrice Bradshaw also says motorcade. Here's my thinking. It has nothing to do with the sports or any of that. So hear me out. I think the best way, I'm going to switch it real quickly to race, right? We always ask, how can we best deal with racism? And everyone's into this diversity, equity, inclusion, and putting these black faces with white conscience in places, right? I think that's what we think helps black people when it doesn't. Here's what I'm interested in. We recently had Sarah Delasio on the show, and her department, her job, her group of people, what they oversee is people, the elderly and disabled. And when I think of this question, how should we celebrate and honor our Special Olympic athletes? I think of accessibility. I think about, do they have the necessary legislation and policies that can keep them safe and allow them to flourish and live the most normal life. I've been told from my days working in Bermuda tourism that Bermuda needs an ADA Act, that we don't, the American Disabilities Act, that we don't go far enough. That's what I'm thinking about when I say, how can we celebrate and honor them? The best way to celebrate and honor them is making sure that they have opportunities to live comfortably like others. To make sure they have a way of making income, that they have the necessary caregiving, to make sure that we're not just remembering them every few years when they're competing in sports. That to me is the best way to honor and celebrate our Special Olympic athletes. And that's not to say anything else we shouldn't do. This is to say, to me, the greatest honor would be to ensure that these people are not in vulnerable spaces ever, and that they're well taken care of.
That was a good one, Jamal. I like that.
I gave it some thought. I had a night.
Yes, I really, really like that. You definitely put thought in that today.
Thank you, Sister Sandra. Karen Simmons says, is there an Olympic living monument? If not, this could be done with all Olympic athletes who have medaled that gets added to regularly. This will last beyond the present. I like that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I just want us to just expand, because we have so many conversations on this show with so many different amazing guests. And some of this stuff really sticks with me. And when I say sticks with me is, what can we do after that conversation's over to help and ensure that we're helping to solve these problems? And I don't want us to get in a space where, we only show up when we're drinking, partying, or celebrating a sport and achievement. These people need us more than every 4 years, which I believe is when the Special Olympics takes place. So that's where why I'm saying, celebrating and honoring them means that we ensure that they have everything they need. That's what, to me, celebrating and honoring our Special Olympic athletes means. That's what it means. Michelle White says she likes Karen's idea. I do. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I guess we can reach out to the Olympic Committee. We do have an Olympic Committee in Bermuda. Nicole Walker says, FYI, Special Olympics Bermuda is asking for support at the airport, 7 p.m. tomorrow evening to greet the returning athletes. Good thoughts, Jamal. Folks, if you're able, honest, and I use that term able because we're talking about accessibility, right now, get out there. I mean, warm their hearts, make them feel appreciated. Thank you so much for that, Nicole. 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Post that song, 7 p.m. Everybody down there. I wonder if Phil can make it down there. Let's hit up Phil. Yo, Phil, Uncle Phil. Can you make it there? No, I would love to capture some footage of them. I love what they're doing, and I'm sure Maya's going to have in her news break the medals that they sent. And I want to give a shout out to Erin Smith, because Erin Smith, I did see a message over the weekend as well. She was just encouraging us to show some love for the Special Olympians, and Maya has been giving updates during her news breaks. Marcia Robin Patrice Bradshaw says, I believe there is one at the entrance to the stadium. I believe she's talking about a living monument. Anyone know what that is? You familiar with that, Sandra?
I'm not. I'm definitely going to take a look now.
Yeah. Monument. So check it, folks. We, again, just want to go back to earlier. We will be having the restaurant crawl. It looks like two of our favorites are not going to be there, so there's 2 extra spots for you all. It will be on July 30th, Sunday, July 30th. We'll be having a restaurant crawl, so if you want to get out and taste some different cuisines from different spots in Bermuda, you want to ensure that you are participating. Another thing for the Special Olympics, I want to see which companies take the lead. And when I say which companies take the lead, we live in an era where everyone does what's popular, what's trending. I saw an article written recently that was basically chastising companies for not supporting LGBT during the month of June, Pride Month. And I've read all the controversy with Bud Light, and then Target and Starbucks and all of that. And look, I am quite fine. I've said this. I'm quite fine with companies not supporting Black History Month, Juneteenth. Those are my spaces. I can't speak for the LGBTQ plus community. I'm fine with them not supporting it. What I'm not fine with, what I'm not okay with, is people ignoring us the rest of the year and the rest of the time. I would rather generational change, like systemic change, than holidays and pointless months that really don't change anything for us when it comes to how we're living. So that said, I look at the companies that might come forth for the Special Olympians, but they don't need your help just right now. They need your help way after this is done. So I want to keep reiterating that. I'm putting it out there that the change that they probably need is going to come through legislation and policies to ensuring that in their most vulnerable times they have the support that they need. So just keep that in mind. Charles H. Jefferson II, Sandra.
I learned this weekend that the Bermuda Olympic Committee doesn't include the Special Olympics. Not sure I understand why that is.
Oh, really? Interesting.
We're both shocked. We're like,
No, I'll have to find out. Maybe I'll reach out to Couture Horton Parent Chief to just get some insight. I don't know. We'll see you there. Marcia Robin Patrice Bradshaw, she will be at the restaurant crawl, folks. Let us know if you're coming, yes or no. Richard Scott says, great ideas shared here. One thing is we must endeavor to be more intentional with moving our gatherings and words into action actualization. He's right. Honestly, he's right. And that's what we intend to do. I mean, Sancha's probably the person who blabs about it the most, annoys me, but I'm just joking. But she's very much the person that pushes us to kind of get out there, beyond the mic and doing stuff in the community. We probably obviously started this show during the pandemic, so we only started this year with KBB, but going forward, we're looking to do more out there amongst people and ensuring that we're part of the movement. A movement takes more than words, folks. That's why I say every day on this show, help us grow beyond the mic to continue to improve our community. So thank you for that, Richard. We have to turn our words into, action to execute. Charles H. Jefferson II says there's a monument at the entrance to the Florida Duffy Stadium that has a list of all of Bermuda's Olympians. Yes. So there you go, Karen. Yes, Traveling Trotty will be hanging with us at the restaurant crawl. We look forward to having you, Traveling Trotty. Sancha, so I'm still puzzled. The Special Olympics, not a part of the Olympics. So do they have their own body? Does anyone know? Maybe Maya will know.
He wants to.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I thought it was all one thing.
Yeah.
Really thought it was all one thing. But 7 p.m. When was it? Sorry. 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. So that's Tuesday, June 27th. Get down the airport, folks. Support them. Show them some love. Our Special Olympians, they did a thing. And let's not dwell on the negative. Let's not look at, they took a gold medal away from an athlete that fully deserved it. You know what? Sometimes the love that person's going to feel when they get back to Bermuda and the energy that you give them will make up for that. I know you all probably saying, no, nothing can make up for a gold medal. You never know. Sometimes it's a feeling. Imagine getting a gold medal and nobody shows up for you. Remember, our first medal and only medal for decades, he wasn't celebrated when he came back to Bermuda. He wasn't really honored when he came back to Bermuda. We're talking Clarence Hill. He never got the treatment that he deserved. And I tell you, I'm not saying he would give his medal back for that love, but I tell you what, feeling that love from your people, from your country, it'll make a difference. So if you can, folks, if you're able, 7 p.m. tomorrow, get down there, support them, show them some love. I think Maya's probably ready to do the news break, give us some more insight as to how the weekend went. But keep your ideas coming about how we should best celebrate and honor Special Olympians. Let us know. And guess what, folks? When you see your MP, representatives, let them know, look, we were really happy for our Special Olympians. I think we should honor them in this manner or this way. Put a piece of legislation or policy that will help them at a certain age. They'll be guaranteed a caregiver. Something that's that simple.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring Maya in before Sancha gets in trouble, folks. All right.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, madam. How are you?
Good. I was actually trying to look up some information about the Bermuda Special Olympics Association because it seems like they are kind of on their own and not quite under a regular, just overall Olympics, Bermuda Olympics Association. Yeah, I have to confirm.
Like that, or is it just Bermuda? I don't. Yeah. I'd like to understand that.
Because when I was going through some statistics as well, when it came to when the Minister Owen Darrell was talking about the funds that were being allocated to all the sports, and I was looking back at that to give some insight today, but it was seen as Bermuda Olympic Association and the Paralympic Association, but I didn't see anything specific on the Bermuda Special Olympics, like in terms of if the funds had changed or shifted. So.
Okay. Interesting. And what are your thoughts, Maya? Like, you've heard from the audience, live audience, Sancha, myself, and the Instagram responses. Like, what are your thoughts when it comes to how to best celebrate and honor our Special Olympic athletes?
Well, I love social media. I love videos. I love information. So I would definitely say to put more of that out there. And we have so many creative people on the island that like do a lot of videography and things like that. They did a lot for other games that were coming up. I would have loved to see more videography on this specifically. Even myself could have gone out and, gotten some information about the team and seeing the players and letting their voices be heard a bit more about what they do, how they train as well. So maybe if they had like media days and invited every like news outlet or any creative down that wanted to like take some video footage and everything like that, I think that would be amazing to have. And maybe even somebody doing some nice headshots for the team.
Indeed. Got you. Folks, there's things we can do to make it better. You heard some suggestions today. Keep them coming. What you got in the news break?
Well, I'm starting out this news break already with just a little bit of background here. The Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service holds a pinning ceremony. Chief Fire Officer Daniel Lovell is at the forefront of the ceremony, who recently assumed his role as the leader of this department after years of dedicated service, said the Minister of National Security, Michael Weeks, during a pinning ceremony. The ceremony at the Hamilton Fire Station on Friday saw 12 recently promoted officers, including Chief Fire Officer Daniel Lovell, who we mentioned earlier, formally receiving their pins or badges representing their new ranks.
Congratulations. Congrats.
Next up on the news, I actually want to present just some statistics on the road collisions of 2023 stats so far. I know we talk about it a lot, but once you see it, it kind of does something different in your brain, I believe. So here are the statistics that I've recovered here. Again, comments on the side, the vehicle, the parish, the gender, the race, the date, the age, and the name. And this is what we have so far in 2023. We know that there are 10 road fatalities so far, and the last one has not been named yet. But as you can see here in the parishes, it seems to still be Southampton, which I've mentioned before, that has the most fatalities on the island. And we got 3 so far for this year.
I know space-wise, Southampton's the longest parish, St. George's with St. David's being the largest in terms of road. But the most populated parish, Pembroke, interesting, there's no reported fatalities in Pembroke.
Not for this year.
For this year, yeah.
Yeah, and there have been in the past.
Yeah, but this year it's interesting. And I wonder, and I guess my comments for this is usually people are coming in, out, or through. And the parishes, it seems like a really, I hate to say this, but suburban, like the areas outside, away from the city. And I don't know. I'm just drawing that conclusion just on that. I wonder why that may be.
Paget as well has 0.
Right, I saw that, but Paget's probably the smallest in terms of land. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I guess Pembroke probably has the most activity based on no road fatalities, and included in Pembroke, I'm obviously taking the city of Hamilton, but it's interesting when you consider they probably do have the most traffic on any given day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. But maybe it might be because there's so much traffic, it's less likely that a lot of people will speed or overtake or inattention. That could be it too, because they think they have to focus more. Looking at the single vehicle collisions for this year, though, it's like 50% of it is single vehicle collisions. So 5 of them are single vehicle.
So hold on, just to be clear, single vehicle means it could be you're just driving and you hit a wall. Like
hit an embankment, hit a curve. Yeah.
So if you just tell me if I'm wrong, guys. If I'm thinking that half of the accidents are single vehicle, the first thing that comes to mind is distracted driving. Because if there's no one else you're hitting or that's involved in it, you must be distracted or under the influence. I'm not thinking speed.
Not necessarily.
No.
I feel like our roads can be very difficult. And let's say you come around a corner and you drift. You know what I mean? And you hit something. I think that it's also the layout of the land, right? So yes, I think that those things can play a factor, but I wouldn't necessarily assume that that's what it is. Like in Southampton,
did you watch Friday's show? That was actually based on what the police told us. I forgot what it was. I had it, but
yes, it was.
Yeah, the majority of collisions are caused by inattention. So that's actually where I'm saying. I guess that 50% would come down to that. But again,
see, I wouldn't want to say that because there's so many variables. Like, Maya, do you know the area by like 5-Star Island? It's such a huge area for accidents. The road is slippery. The corners are, and I'm surprised that none of the, maybe some of these accidents are in that area, but it's a huge area for accidents.
But as we discussed on Friday, you mentioned the roads, right, Sandra? If I know, and I don't know the roads as well. So if I'm in Bermuda for a week, I kind of study, like I legit do, where the bumps are and so on. So if you know that the roads are horrible, then you pay more attention and you go slower. That's just how I've always operated, because you get used to, oh no, there's a pothole here, there's this here, this is an area I need to go slower. Obviously, people don't drive the same routes all day, every day. But again, it still does come down to the vehicle, the driver of whatever said vehicle, no? Like you know the roads a bit, go slower. You know roads a bit, be more attentive to what you're doing. So I don't know how the police determine or know that. Do people admit it to them that I was distracted or I was doing something? Like, I don't know. How did they gather that? I mean, is it video? Because to Sancho's point, remember that video of Harbor Road, was it?
Mm-hmm.
It was single vehicle and it was wet and the car just hit. It slid, right? So to her point, I mean, you have those incidents, right? And no matter how slow you're going, a vehicle could still slide.
Yeah.
I'm not a physics.
Yeah, I think you're right about, like, how do we know if it's inattention? Obviously, police do research. They try to get information from whoever may have witnessed the collision and things like that. Single vehicle collisions are really prominent on this island, and we definitely do need to take more statistics in it. Just from having this conversation, I'm thinking I'm definitely going to look into exactly pinpointing where these single vehicle collisions are for the ones I've listed recently, because I remember looking and seeing that in another report, 2 of them were in the exact same space in the exact same year. And I was thinking, well, maybe there's something wrong with the roads there. Maybe there's something that we can fix in that specific area so that there are no more single vehicle collisions right there in that exact same space. Because if it's happened twice, that's twice too many.
There are definitely areas in Bermuda that are like high incident areas. You know for a fact that this is very likely for an accident to happen.
Wasn't it like T Street onto Middle Road? Wasn't that once a real heavy space? I want to say growing up, they would always say, like, how do people continue to get in accidents here when they know it's an accident spot? And I'm confused because it's clearly a stop sign. I just don't know. So
on that corner right there, all the time. So T Street, Middle Road, that wall right there, taken out, I swear, every other week.
Yeah, no, legit, seriously, it's a hot spot. And to your point,
you're coming around a bend into that wall.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I'm no expert, folks. I just think, thank you for doing this, Maya, like bringing stats to us and reminding us, because I think it's so many factors, as we had on our Instagram last week, inattention, alcohol, speed, and other. Other could mean the road conditions, right? But we asked about road conditions, but only surprisingly, what was it? 2%, 3% that said that they believe road conditions, which was interesting. So people, although the road conditions are bad, I guess we understand that if we did our part, the roads wouldn't play much of a role.
Yeah. And I think, I can't remember if I mentioned on the show last week, but I asked about bike lanes because, Bermuda's really small. I remember talking about someone who reported that, we shouldn't have to focus or rely on cars on such a small island, but if we had better public transportation, then that would be something that could take the place, maybe reduce all our accidents if there was possibly better transportation. And I asked, well, who on this island actually wants bike lanes? I know we have a lot of people that bicycle in the mornings. And it was almost 50-50. Like a lot of people were like, no bike lanes. And others were like, yes, have bike lanes. But one major comment that struck me was like, if we have bike lanes, they're nervous that motorcycle riders will abuse it and use it for a different purpose than what it's meant for.
You know what I came up with the other day? I know it will never happen because we don't have the funding to do it. But if we took our railway trails and made them like totally complete, it takes care of your bike lanes, and then also tourists could take that route as well, so that they're not like on our main roads being subjected to everything that's going on.
And you on the same lines. Look at you. You're thinking of it on the same line.
I said the other day, I was like, it would be such a good. The route is more scenic. You know what I mean? They can stop, they can look, and it's just safer, right? And then we take them out of our everyday way of life, and me behind the wheel, like, I wish they would hurry up, or they're swerving and making me nervous. Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea, but we don't have the money for that.
I think that's a really good idea, though.
She's trying to take me there about her broke government. Anyway, I'm not going into this one.
Next up on the list, and we're all talking about the Bermuda Special Olympics. So here's some statistics. This photo is coming from Burn News, so thank you for them. And I also want to give a shout out to Stephen Wright, who's been one of the authors there, who has been continuously updating us on the Special Olympics medals throughout this competition. So the team will be returning with 11 medals this year, surpassing the number of medals that they had in 2019, which was 8. As you can see, we got 2 golds, a silver, and the rest are bronze. So congratulations to our Special Olympics team coming home with more than they accomplished for. So that's awesome.
There you go. Oh, hold on. There you go. There you go. Good stuff.
I was really impressed with the bowler. I think his name was Micah. Like him bowling and seeing his story as well, that was already posted. I was impressed with that. That was an awesome story.
Nice.
Moving on to some of our CAC games, though, we got a Bermuda swimmer, Emma Harvey, won a silver medal in the 50-meter backstroke at the CAC games. Harvey came second in the finals with a time of 29:01 seconds, just shy 0.42 seconds behind the winner of Mexico. Bermuda Madeline Moore finished 4th, 29:51, with just 0.07 seconds behind the 3rd place winner, who came from Dominican Republic. So congratulations to our athletes there, bringing home some medals.
Congrats. Yeah, congratulations. Big congrats.
Yeah. We got some games coming in today as well. We got the Bermuda rugby team that unfortunately didn't do so well in the first 2 games, but they got 3 matches coming up today, which is quite intense for rugby. So good luck to them as they head into the 3 matches.
3 matches in one day.
Wow.
I know. That is intense, right?
That is very intense. I want to put the photo up, but it looks like I didn't download it into the thing today, so I apologize for that. But if you want to watch the match, CAC San Salvador, they would have all the statistics, but I'll share with the results you guys tomorrow. Coming up next is more of the games. So these are the matches for our beach volleyball that already happened. These ones which you mentioned on the other day, where the team did not show up and Bermuda did get those points, which was the second game. And then the game that happened yesterday, unfortunately, Bermuda went down as well on the charts there. So our women's team, I believe, has 1 more game, not today, but tomorrow. And we'll see what happens with the results.
Alrighty.
And finally, the Bermuda field hockey team is now out there. They have their first game tomorrow. And here's a short clip from speaking with the coach and a senior player.
So we're looking at top 4. I personally believe that we do have a great chance. We've been training almost every day out of the league. Coven's put a great plan together for us. Everybody has been really committed, really dedicated. Everybody is here for the cause, and I just think that we have a chance. We have a chance to meet our goal, which is top 4.
And if they were to make the top 4, what would happen?
I think that's represents something that I think Bermuda at the CAC Games hasn't achieved before. So it's a legacy that this team is really looking to try and leave behind, to achieve something at the CACs which is quite unique and new. We sort of call it venturing into uncharted territory. And I think it opens up the opportunity for us to realize that we can compete with some of the better nations. And hopefully this is a stepping stone for us to maybe push the boundaries and see if there's a possibility of reaching top 2, which then gives you the opportunity to go to Pan Am, which is, obviously just expanding the scope even more.
Nice.
Well, and that concludes my news for today. And there was a lot of sports in there, so it's going to be a lot more updates.
I mean, is it gonna? Sanchez said you had good weather this weekend. Is the weather going to be good throughout this week?
It looks like it. It looks like it's going to be partly cloudy, but more light than anything else. So it's going to be a high of 82 degrees Fahrenheit as well today. It's looking sunny out there, Sancho. What do you say?
Very sunny. It's such a beautiful day. Such a beautiful day. But weren't they saying something about a tropical storm?
Why you gotta bring up like cussing?
It is hurricane season, and they have been telling us to be prepared and make sure you're buckling down. There is a tropical storm that I did hear was on the horizon. I'm not sure if it's going to pass Bermuda though, but I'll keep it updated.
It's going to be tomorrow evening. Yeah.
What's that?
The weather up, yeah, just to confirm.
Right. Yeah. So I think they said the closest point would be tomorrow evening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be rain. I don't know how close it's going to be, but we have to keep people informed.
You do, even if it's not good news, folks. This is what we talk about. Real quickly, before you head out, what you got, man?
It's not looking bad at all.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's going to pass. Maybe it'll change, and I'll definitely keep up. If it's tomorrow evening and tomorrow morning, I will keep an update on that. But as for right now, the weather's looking like Tuesday is going to be sunny periods, a few light showers. Wednesday, sunny breaks, few showers, and maybe a little bit stronger winds in the afternoon, it says on Wednesday.
Okay. Real quickly, Charles H. Jefferson II, he was asking, are there any stats on the number of visitors who are involved in traffic accidents that don't result in road fatalities? Do you know if the police share that?
Unless it's a serious road collision, I'm not sure if they'll share that. So, but I'll put that in my notes right now. Just double check on that.
Okay, Misha Fablo also said, I think the distracted driving is a significant contributing factor. Every day I commute, I see people using their phone while operating their vehicle, even on bikes. I'm gonna be honest with you. I always, when I get on the highway, I can always tell who's on the phone. Like, it's like speed limit 65. You're going under 60. Like, there's no reason. You look over and it's like nothing annoys me more. You guys know that. Nothing annoys me more. Like, eyes on the road, pay attention. Now, Charles had this idea. I don't think many would agree with him. But you know what a HOV lane is, basically, during rush hour, it's an additional lane in one direction. He said he'd like to see Harbor Road be an HOV heading into town in the morning and heading out of town in the afternoon.
I agree, Charles. This is because Charles and I are in it. I agree.
Let's put it out there, folks. Let us know. Let's talk about that when we come back. What are your thoughts? Should Bermuda have an HOV lane with Harbor Road being one direction during rush hour? Let us know. Maya, do you want to share an opinion before you head out on that?
I don't really have an opinion, but I do just want to say, and this is personal, but yesterday made it 2 years since my best friend Shay died from a hit and run on Bermuda's roads. And I don't know, it definitely took me heavy. It takes a toll. So to every family out there who's lost someone, you're in my thoughts. And I can't say I understand your plight, but I feel it. I really do. So, just hang in there, really.
Wow, 2 years already. Wow.
Yeah.
And still on the investigation.
Still on the investigation. Well, hugs to you, Maya, and love to his mom. And wow, 2 years.
That it seems, it doesn't seem that long.
Yeah, for real. And still waiting on justice.
Yeah.
Maya, you enjoy the rest of your day. and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right, folks. Maya Palacio, just giving Maya some big hugs right now because I know that took a toll on her. And the pain never really goes away, if we're all honest. We just manage it over time. We deal with it differently. So let us know, what are your thoughts on Charles H. Jefferson put out there an HOV.
Hello.
Oh, days of the year. We forgot you. And Maya just laughed you. What's the days of the year, Sandra?
You guys, come on now.
Maya just ditched you.
So, the United Nations General Assembly back on December 7th, 1987, decided to observe today, June 26th, as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, as an expression of its determination to strengthen action and cooperation to achieve the goal of international society free of drug abuse. This year, the focus is on the need to put people first and ending the stigma of discrimination and strengthening prevention. There we go.
Like that one. Thank you. And folks, well, on this day in history, Madagascar, which Sherry got wrong last week, formerly Malagasy Republic, declared its independence from France on this day in 1960. 1960. So Madagascar, independence from France on this day in 1960. So that's your bit of history today. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and we'll talk about that HOV. But if you've appreciated the conversation so far, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and we'll be back after this. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show, Sancha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, before we went to break, we actually, Charles H. Jefferson II, he suggested that we turn Harbor Road into an HOV. All traffic heading east only in the morning. So heading into town, it'll be one-way traffic in the morning. In the evening, it'll be traffic heading west only. So out of town. What are your thoughts on an HOV? What do you think? Do you agree with that? Sancha, you said you agree, correct?
I do. I feel like, especially coming out of the West, the traffic could be it could be managed better. So I don't know if you've seen how narrow those roads are, the amount of traffic that's trying to get into town. And then you have people speeding back this way. The amount of people that are hitting mirrors, bikes and they're trying to swerve in and out. It's really dangerous. And then not to mention, when you have those people coming off from Middle Road, coming into Harbor Road, and they have to wait for the traffic heading west to let them out. And then you have that one person that lets about 5 cars out. The traffic is horrible. And I think it'll help with the flow.
Yeah, I've experienced it a time or two while I've been back in Bermuda, but not on a regular basis. Sherry says yes, she agrees. And Charles H. Jefferson II says HOV would be for 2 or more people, electric vehicles, and St. George's fans. But I want to say that because, as Misha Fabla says, and important to note that HOV requires multiple people in vehicles too. So let me get a question in then. I agree with that, more than 2 people and electric vehicles. But I would ban people on bikes from going there. I would add that. I would ban the bikes because it's vehicles with more than cars, I'll say with more than 2 people. I would ban bikes because bikes to me, and I'm a one who rides a bike when in Bermuda, I think they interrupt the flow more than they help. The dirt lanes and the confusion whipping in and let's be honest.
Yeah, it annoys me. It annoys me when I get that bike that like dirt lanes it comes in front of me and then goes really slow. I'm like, what? Why? Why did you just do that? Yeah. I can see that.
HOV, folks, Harbor Road, going east,
if you look at it,
west during the evenings. Go ahead, Sanj.
If you look at it, I feel like pre-COVID, there was definitely a lot more carpooling than happens now. And then during COVID, we got used to this space of we're all in our own vehicles, windows up, and we need to get back to that. That carpooling situation. Even when I was little, I remember my mom would be driving into town and she would pick up like 2 of her coworkers because we live Somerset from the bus stop. They waited for her and she was the one that drove in the morning. So we definitely need to get back to that.
Okay. People are still like germaphobes, like you're not getting in my car?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Even you remember when you probably didn't remember, but you always would stop and pick up somebody from the bus stop.
Yep. I was where it got right.
Yeah. It doesn't happen. We just drive past like, oh no.
I know where she's been. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't need her breathing that in here. Tanya Cheeseman says she agrees. She thinks it could work an HOV heading into town in the morning on Harbor Road and heading out of town in the evening rush hour. Mark Arthur C. Phillips just says, I can't drive. Well, I mean, he didn't. He says, I avoid Harbor Road at all times. I get it. A lot of people do. He also goes on to say, that is a great idea. We should make Harbor Road 1 lane during rush hour. I think it could work, Sancha. I actually love that idea. Folks, yes or no? Just give us a yes or no. Would you support Harbor Road being HOV only? Obviously, some of you don't live up the west, so try to be fair in your responses. But yes or no, would you agree to that? Yes or no? I'm gonna go with Sherry and Sancha and say yes.
You agree with us?
Surprise, right? No, I think it makes sense. Honestly, I think. Look, I'm all about convenience in the safest way. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, it would get a lot of pushback because obviously the residents in the area, they may feel differently. You've got businesses, maybe Newstead, Belmont Hills. They might have something to say about it, Sancha. So I get what the pushback would be, but I honestly think it would probably make absolute sense to consider.
I feel like we have other morning rules that kind of don't make much sense. Whereas this, like, it'll be what, a 2-hour time frame, 7 to 9.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what is it? I think on 95 in South Florida, it might be 3 hours, if that, not even. But it's one of the shortest. Anthony Pete says, a feasibility review, I say, look at current traffic patterns when school is in and out. Good point. Good point, because traffic flows differently. The amount of traffic, whether school's in and out. Thank you for that, sir. Shannon Smith says, yes, she agrees with the idea. Tanya Cheeseman says, yes, she agrees with the idea. Rick Olson says, it's worth a try. Laverne Tucker says, yes. Shikarina says, is it both lanes going to be in one direction or just one bigger lane? Ignore the yellow line. I would say 1 lane traffic. The road's too small to have people, two cars next to each other going that same direction. I think the idea is one file, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
One
but
file.
I think that if it's 1 lane going, I think that we can have bikes because they're not at risk of oncoming traffic and they can use that second lane.
Okay. I just know how those bikers are. Renee Simmons feels the same way. Yes, but why bikes when it's one way. It'll be more helpful if the bikes are going one way. I don't disagree. I just know going weaving in and out really does mess with the flow of traffic and cars. Like you see it regularly, but I wouldn't say eliminate bikes from jump, but it could be a consideration to just make it flow a bit faster. Shika Rana says yes, she agrees, as does Michelle White says yes, but there aren't sufficient main roads for homeowners to head the opposite direction. That's my concern, the pushback. It's like, to get to certain homes, are there going to be roads where they can get over to them in that manner?
I don't think it has to be the whole of Harbor Road.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can probably stay, from Mentz Road or Newstead down. You know what I mean? I don't agree with like the entirety of Harbor Road in the morning, but kind of where it starts to get congested and the road narrows a bit and it becomes a little dangerous. So that to me would be after Mentz Road, and I can't remember what the road is by Newstead, but right there.
Got you. All right, folks, let's take a quick break. Come back, do the daily play, wrap it up. If you appreciated today's conversation, please do give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and make sure you share it. Again, we spoke about how to best honor and celebrate our Special Olympic athletes. As Nicole Walker said, don't forget, get down the airport 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. They will be returning, so you can celebrate, show them some love. But we're going to take our final break and come back, wrap it up, and get this daily play going.
Ordering from ER Fisheries has just gotten simpler. With just a few clicks of a button, you can place an order for next-day delivery or same-day pickup. Our ever-expanding list of offerings now include grocery pantry items, specialty meats, and bread and dairy items. We know things have been hard, and we're here to make planning for your next meal or party easy. Whether you're a vegetarian or a meat eater, we have what you're looking for. And best of all, it can be delivered to your door in 24 hours or less. Go to www.erfisheries.bm and check out our wide range of seafood, beef, lamb, pork, poultry, fruits, vegetables, and plant-based products, all available at reasonable prices. That's www.erfisheries.bm.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring we can have these kind of conversations. Folks, again, if you appreciated today's discussion, Media Maya's extended news break, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you're sharing these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and even those people who, you just like a little debate with, some people call them spouses or boyfriends or girlfriends, All right, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sancha, are you ready?
Let's, audience, help me out.
All right, she said it this time. All right, this is a quote from a famous musician. Quote, "Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive."
I've heard this too. What genre of music, Jamal?
Rap.
It's not Jay.
You just got me in trouble with Sherry because I gave you a hint and you asked what genre of music. But anyway,
Sherry be fine. It's me. So,
all right. So the answer to the person who quoted this quote, "Death." Well, somebody said it. Tupac.
Tupac.
Yep.
I'm like, I've heard this.
Yeah.
I love me some Tupac.
Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Tupac Shakur, who I believe would have had another birthday recently. Yeah, you just got me in real trouble. All right. Sancha set me up, folks. She set me up.
She
set me up. Let's wrap it up.
Send that to me.
Well, oh, that's what you guys do. You text each other. But okay, cool. I've got it now. I was looking on social media this morning. I saw that the BET Awards were last night. I didn't even know they still had this.
Yeah, they do. I definitely didn't know they were on though.
So I don't feel bad now. See, Sancha didn't know. So I can't ask you who won any awards.
You know what? I feel like I used to be into like the awards, and I used to watch all of the awards.
Mhm.
I've gotten into a space now that half the time I don't agree with who wins these awards. So I'm just like, I'm not watching this.
Well, I did like have it on there because I saw Buster. I saw someone sipping about Buster, so I turned it to him. But he talks a lot in sleep. But I want to. I'm not into award shows because I just don't like them. But I do like performances. I love people like. I just want to see a good performance, if anything. But yeah. So that's what it was. Yeah, Buster was recognized, and I guess he felt the need to have a service. Just speak forever. Look, let's wrap up today's show. Started with the Special Olympics, how to best honor and celebrate them, and then we spoke about in the news, like the road fatalities, and then the HOV lanes. Final thoughts.
I am happy, Jamal, that you have pushed the narrative that we celebrate them today, that we give them that forum, that place for us to brainstorm and come up with ideas and how we can better recognize them. Because a lot of times we just go on about our day and we don't think about these things. So I'm thanking you for pushing the issue of us doing this today. We've had a lot of great ideas as to how we can celebrate them, and I hope that someone takes heed. With regards to our roads, gosh, Jamal, I mean, my heart breaks every time it's another road fatality, and we're becoming numb to it. Right before, it was kind of a shock, like, oh my god, and we're becoming numb to it, and we have to do better. Whatever that looks like, whatever the reasons are, we need to get to the bottom of it, and we have to do better. I think Charles Jeffers, that was a great idea. The powers that be that watch us every morning, I hope that they see this and consider that at some point. So.
No, I say this, Sancha. I mean, look, we have to fight. Sancha knows we have to fight to get people to understand this is not a political show. Do we discuss politics every now and then? Yes, more often than we'd like. But the purpose of this show is to discuss solutions to things impacting our community. We can't have people like Sarah Delasio on the show and speaking about the disadvantages that our elderly and disabled population have to deal with, and then only celebrate and honor their athletic accomplishments, forgetting their other needs. And so I think that while we're celebrating, let's remember them, that they need us. They need us way after they're done winning medals and representing Bermuda as athletes. As far as the road, Sancha, I just echo what you said. We can't say it enough. We can't say it enough. Personal responsibility plays a huge role. And I think that we need to make the necessary changes consciously, because like the shootings, I think we are becoming numb to it. That's not what we need. That's not what we need. As far as the HOV, brilliant idea. Again, Charles, I hope that the powers that be are listening and consider it. I'm all for at least just listening and considering what people have to say. So hopefully they can consider it. Sancha, you've got some daily inspiration for us?
I do. Our daily inspiration is brought to you by ER Fisheries. The only impossible journey is the one that you never begin. That's by Tony Robbins.
Like it, love it, love it. All right, folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Give us a thumbs up, love, a like. Peace.